Hi, my name's Billie and I'm a teaching artist with LACMA. Today we're going to create a 3D assemblage artwork that communicates an important message about a historical event. So before we get started, let's learn about the materials you're going to need for this project. So first of all, you'll need a cereal box. This kind of shape is really good for this project, so try and find yourself a cereal box. You'll also need some other recycled cardboard to use to build with. So you can see here I've got the side of a cardboard box, kind of a scrap, but also other food packaging, other recycled cardboards you have around the house, grab those as well. Then you'll need a bunch of found objects and images. By that I mean things that might usually get thrown away. So for example, I have some candle holders here, I have a cork, a button, popsicle sticks, and then also images that you found from newspapers, magazines, grocery store ads. So pull things out that you find interesting. You can even use patterned papers or fabrics as well. I even have some ribbon. You could also use yarn. Then you'll also need some words that you find. So look for words and letters cut out of magazines and ads, as I said. So look for words and letters. And then you'll also need some coloured papers. So this is construction paper. If you don't have coloured construction paper at home, you could cut the side of a paper bag out and use that. Tin foil, other things like that. You just need enough that you're going to be able to cover the whole outside of the box and maybe the inside as well. You'll also need some strong glue. So this is just that runny school glue. This is really strong stuff. So some of this would be great. This is optional, but if you happen to have some colored tapes or stickers, these can be fun to add in to your artwork. You'll need a pair of scissors to cut things out. And then finally, you'll need some colouring tools. So here I have some permanent markers, but you could use other markers or other colouring tools that you have at home. You could even use paint if you happen to have it. So that's all the materials. But before we get started, let's head over and look at the artwork in LACMA's collection that inspired this project today. This is an artwork by artist Kienholz. What do you notice about the materials the artist has used? He has used found objects and put them together. Do the objects look old, used, or new? This type of art is called assemblage. Assemblage is a work of art made by assembling or grouping found or collected objects, often everyday objects that are scavenged by the artist or bought specially. Found objects, images, and words have their own histories and meanings. You can create new meanings when you bring objects together. Kienholz is known for creating artwork that asks people to think about issues that are important to him. This artwork is about the Holocaust, a period in history at the time of World War II when millions of Jewish people were murdered because of who they were. There are so many resources in libraries or online available today that talk about the Holocaust. You can also ask a teacher or grown-up if you want to learn more about this moment in time. Let's look closer at some of the imagery and examine how Kienholz represents this tragic historical event. All of the objects in this work symbolise the struggle the Jews faced during this period. On the top of the work, the artist has placed a plant. This type of plant is known for being able to grow colourful leaves even without much sun or water. It is a survivor. Why do you think the artist included this in his artwork? Perhaps to symbolise something. Behind the plant is a clipping from an old newspaper that headlines the words "Raid and Wake." Headlines are meant to catch our attention, and the artist has put it at the very top of his assemblage sculpture above the oven that is in the centre. Perhaps he is trying to catch our attention and make us hear his message and not forget our global history. What do you think? Edward Kienholz brought these objects and images together to make us think about and remember the Holocaust, something that's important to him. So inspired by that idea, we're going to create our own artworks using found objects and images to tell a story about a moment in history that's important to us. The first thing to do is to think about what moment or event you want to tell a story about. It could be a moment in your personal history, the history of your family. It could be a moment in history you've learned about or seen somewhere. Whatever you decide on, you're going to need to look through your found objects and images to find things that will help you to tell that story or to represent different ideas. So look through your ads, magazines and newspapers and pull out things that will help you to tell the story of your event. If you can't find everything that you need, don't worry. I'm later going to show you how to draw your own words and pictures to add into your artwork. But let's get started with our cereal boxes by building the base for our 3D assemblage artwork. The first thing you're going to do is cut out a hole in the center of your cereal box. I like to leave a border around the outside so that it frames my assemblage. The safest way to do this is to open one end of your box and cut through it and tape it back together afterwards. Now you're ready to start adding colour and shape to your box. You can cover the sides and back, the whole outside of your box, any way you like. So you could paint it, you could add more words and 2D pictures and other recycled papers. You could even leave parts of your box as it is. So if you have parts of your cereal box that you like the letters or words that you see, you could leave some of it as it is if you want to. For now, I have covered mine in yellow paper, red paper and some tape, just for now to give me a good starting point. But I'll be adding details later. If you can't find the images, words and objects that you want, you can also create your own or arrange objects to create new meaning. For example, I can arrange my found objects to create a scene, a portrait of a person or something else. If you can't find the words and letters that you're looking for, you can also create your own using bold, chunky letters to grab people's attention. I'm going to write the word history. See how I spaced out my letters and wrote them using bold lines? Now I'm going to outline them to make the letters bigger and chunkier. If you want to represent events with groups of people or a person, you can find photographs, or You can use simple shapes to draw your own figures onto cardboard and cut them out. I like to use a combination of ovals, triangles and rectangles. You can also draw or find other simple images to tell the story of your event. So now let's bring these things together by assembling them into our box. Think about the composition of your objects. That means choosing what goes where and why. Try rearranging your objects several times to create different meanings. Think about what you want people to look at first. You can place some images at the back of the box, and others can be on the outside, closer to the viewer. You could even try building platforms like this one. To make this, I cut out squares of thick cardboard and glued them together. You can use this to make some of your words or images stand out above the rest. When you're happy with your composition, use glue to stick everything into place. And remember, this is a 3D artwork which you can view from multiple sides, so cover the top, sides, and the back of your box. I hope you can share your artwork with your friends and family and tell them about all the details you added and the story that you're trying to tell in your artwork. Keep being creative at home, keep making art, and I look forward to seeing you in future projects. Bye-bye for now.